Going to live stream the meeting.
Yep, I got a pop-up myself.
Okay. I might have to run to go get my iPad so I can be myself on it. If that will allow
My
me.
phone. Okay, I do have a question. I got your message. Should, but if I click that on, that's going to be on my phone. So that's just FYI.
Ignore the last thing that I sent you.
Okay. Because I'm thinking I'm going to be on my phone. I don't want to be on my phone.
We're gonna be in this space as long as it starts.
Yeah, because I see the. Yep, I see me.
You see you where?
Remember, I'm still gonna get the ping.
Oh, okay. Ah. Live. Why is it telling me that it requires not a code? When you get the ping, are you seeing anything on Facebook?
Yes, I'm actually seeing myself. And you, we're side by side.
Okay. And what are we doing? What are we saying?
Well, you're laughing at the moment and I'm talking. Now I'm laughing. There's a delay, so.
Okay, so we're live on people are
seeing us. We're live. Yeah, we're live.
All right.
And so people are coming up. I see VM Heslop, Sylvia.
Okay.
People are coming in.
All right, guys. So we are in fact live. Welcome to the show. After much ado, we've got it right. We apologize for all those persons who've been waiting for us, but Dr. Joni and myself, we figured it out. Yay, the go-to team.
Hi, everyone.
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Joni. Dr. Joni is joining us. She's helping me this morning, and I needed all the help that I could get. And as usual, we're going to say, Dr. Joni, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're from, where in Jamaica you're from. Tell me it's Clarendon, or not when we have.
Well, I'll borrow Clarendon because I was the one who was talking about not having a country. So I'll borrow that. But I was born in St. Andrew. I lived there for a little while and we migrated to the US and I've lived in New York. Grew up on the South Shore of Long Island and I attended undergrad in Boston, came back to New York, started my career, and then 9/11 happened and I started consulting. So I started traveling all across the US in my passion. My passion is healthcare, but I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be a surgeon. And I was introduced to computers. And in the process, I went into the dean's office and I said, hey, can we mix healthcare with computers? And he goes, it'll never happen. And I walked out of there going, I'm sure it can. Graduated and this company kept calling me for months and months and I would put them off. Then I walked in and the woman says, I was hired to hire you. And I was like, why? And the rest is history.
I'm happy that you've spoken about the fusion between healthcare, medicine, and computers, because it's almost they're all seemingly so far removed from each other. For us in Jamaica, going to the doctor is going to the doctor.
Right.
Records is going to the doctor or going to some lab or the other. But for you to have had that vision of the potential fusion between them both is amazing. And for you to see it come to fruition after your professor laugh at you. I hope you
I
call.
know, right? They always ask me if there was someone I would like to visit, who would that be? And I'd go, hey, that professor that told me no, I'd love to dance on a tap dance on his desk just because he told me no. It's
Yes,
like, how do you like me now?
let's send him a message. We should visit him.
I
I
think
want to
he
follow
passed
you.
by now.
I want to follow and call upon him for you and say, hey, remember?
I I know, right? But now I'm able to be associated with their graduate school.
Oh,
So yeah, I get little interviews here and there, and
yes.
people ask me for my comments and mentorship.
Ooh, no, that is really sucking it to them.
Yeah, someone else believed in me.
Yes, but more than everything else, somebody else believed in you, but more importantly, you believed in yourself. You believed that
Exactly.
what it is that you wanted to do was attainable, and you weren't gonna make anybody rain on your parade, or
Absolutely.
you would go down, at least go down trying. Um,
That it is.
there's a Jamaican, it's not a Jamaican, I'm sure it's an English piece of poetry that we all learned. Well, I learned it when I was growing up because I'm a little older. Um, Drive the nail right, boy, hit it on the head, strike with all your might while the iron is red, and it continues.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yes, and it is just that you applied yourself in that way, standing at the foot, gazing at the sky. How can you get up if you never try? So you did it. You
I
tried
did
and
it.
you did it.
And it's funny, even thank you. Even my dad, he was like, I'm not paying your tuition if you're not going to be a doctor. And I'm like, I'm doing this. And they had internships, so it worked out.
Good for him. He never had to pay.
Right? Right. I found my own way.
Yes, you figured it. That's the kind of drive and passion that is lacking now in our
A
society.
society. That's true.
Yes, so lacking amongst young people. They're passionate about just making some quick money or something like that in the here and now. Um, Ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for being late. Thanks for those who are staying. I need to just run, go get my iPad so I can see the messages. Or Dr. Joni, I'm going to ask you to read the messages that are up whilst I go on.
Absolutely. Good morning, VM Heslop. How are you? Oh, I'm glad you can hear us. Hi, Sylvia Dennis. How are you? And I'm not seeing anyone else. Let's see. Without losing anyone. Okay, while we wait for Dr. Diane, I'm trying to see if there's anyone else on. It shows 11 folks are on, but I'm not seeing the scroller.
Oh, what we also have to do too is that we have to share it so people know that we're here, because they might have been waiting for us and not having seen us. They
It shows, well, people are dropping and coming back.
okay. Um,
But mine is only showing VM and Sylvia.
are you on YouTube or are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook.
Know that we're here because they might have been waiting. YouTube or are you on Facebook?
I'm on Facebook.
Well, forgive me. My other gadget playing in the background. um, I'm seeing, hi Doc, what's your topic? Somebody's asking.
Oh, now I see.
Yes. So the topic is unpaid domestic workers. Unpaid domestic workers. So there's an article, Dr. Joni, in today's or yesterday's paper.
It
Let me
looks like yesterday's.
look
It was
like
yesterday's.
okay. So in yesterday's paper that I found quite interesting, and let me tell you, I have to find it to read because that is what the topic is about. It's quite interesting for me, because it looked
Hi,
like
Betty.
owes a lot of money. Where is it? Wasn't it in the
Let me see
cleanup?
if I can pull it up. It was quite an interesting read.
Yes, it was actually a report that had been done, so it had some research in it. A real good research. I think it was Capri that had done the research. So them take out the good piece of article out of the paper and leave pure foolishness. I don't believe this.
Value of unpaid domestic work could be as high as 991 billion Jamaican annually. That's the
Yes,
study.
that's a whole heap of money.
Yikes.
That's a whole heap of value for domestic work that don't get paid. And we
Exactly.
can start in the household. Guys, we need to find that article. It was really good reading.
And the article was done by Capri. Is that how you say Capri study?
Yes, Capri. It's an acronym for
Have you found it?
Guys, forgive us for being a little bit tardy today, but we're trying all kind of things.
Yeah, technology is working its magic as we speak.
Domestic, unpaid domestic. And it's not, yes, unpaid domestic workers. Persons who grew up with their mother in the house, do they regard their mother's duties and tasks that she performed as unpaid domestic work? I didn't see it as such until I saw this article that really kind of brought it home that, yes, the reality for a lot of us, particular African American folks, is that we just grow up doing these things in the house. We just grow up taking care of the baby them. We grow up cooking the meals. We grow up
doing the duty.
Yeah, doing all of those things, and nobody ever. It's almost as if it's an expectation. I don't live my life that way, but I'd want to know if people still have this expectation that these duties are to be performed by this woman in the house, usually the poor mother, the wife.
Right.
But it's not
She's
fair.
head cook and bottle washer.
And then oftentimes, Dr. Joni, like you and I, we still have to go out to go work.
Exactly. And then come back and do everything as if we never left the house.
Yes. I mean, like what? We saw what wrong with we so.
Anyone have that experience?
So the
unpaid?
I knew a new study by the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, that's what it means, Caribbean Policy Research Institute, has estimated that the value of unpaid care and domestic work in Jamaica could be as much as $991 billion annually, or 45% of gross domestic product. The study, Who Cares? The Real Cost of Unpaid Care and Domestic Work, was released by the think tank on Thursday evening. It noted that there had been no valuation of such work, which is done mostly by women, and its study sought to find out what the monetary cost would be if domestic labor were not done for free. Hey. How would we manage? Well, Dr. Johnny.
Well, you know something, when you look at it, if you had to evaluate, they couldn't pay us. All the different things that we undertake, they couldn't pay us. They would have to owe us into eternity.
For some reason, this tells me that the live video has ended.
No, it's still going.
Okay.
In fact, John Fowler said unpaid domestic work is just another word for slavery. He's like,
Just another word for slavery.
Another word for slavery.
But we grew up with this being quite the norm
Norm. Yeah.
in our household. But to think of it, there we've never attached a value to it.
No, and it's not something we can actually attach something to. I mean, like I said, they would owe us.
They, they would,
They would owe us into eternity.
yeah, the article says that caring for children age 0 to 5 has the highest contribution of all care activities at 94 billion. And
Right.
that is not strange because child care cost in the US
Oh,
is
that's astronomical. I mean, I'm hearing costs as high as college tuition just to put your kid in pre-K. And I'm going, for what? What are they doing? Learning how to sit quietly and eat? I mean, come on. And then take a nap? That's a lot of money.
the journey. They're learning lots of socializing skills.
Not to hit each other.
Or to be good people. They're learning all of those competencies to prepare them for the society that they're going into. But it is expensive. Yet so many
Absolutely.
of us have done it whilst balancing everything else. Um, but if we were to be paid for it, should the government then compensate the household, or should the household compensate the performers in the household?
I like the idea of subsidy by the government. After all, we pay taxes, right?
Yes.
And you think about situations where the so-called breadwinner, the husband passes away and the wife has to struggle. I mean, that's a good way to have a subsidy added on,
Yeah.
and probably meet it out by the number of children you have under a certain age group.
Right. So if within the 0 to 5 year there is this highest contribution of $94 billion, then they already have a benchmark that they can use to determine what is the value for care. And if you care for your children in your homes, within this age range, 0 to 5, then this is what you would get. Do you think if we were to, I don't even know, it's probably shooting myself in the foot here, but if we were to do this, do you think we'd have better children coming out into our primary and kindergarten schools?
Might be so. It's incentive, right? I'm going to
Yeah,
get paid a certain amount of money, so I better turn out good kids. We
yes.
never know.
Dr. Johnny, I'm thinking that this might very well address some of the social challenges that we have in Jamaica.
Like
Because
so.
if as a homemaker, I can be compensated through subsidy, as you have labeled it, then I will focus more on the well-being of my child and the household.
Absolutely.
And I can see multiplicities of ripples coming out of that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think so. I mean, especially if all eyes are going to be on you. How did you raise this kid? Now you put him out in society. Everyone's going to know that that's your child. And if you don't do a good job, guess what? The money's cut off. So that's
Ah,
an incentive right there.
exactly. So, as a result of that, we would have been solving a number of ills because you would have less domestic violence. Because here it is now that the husband don't forget, or the boyfriend or the baby father, them don't have to be no issue because you get a stipend to support your child.
Precisely.
And so you don't probably even need so much baby father because
Well, there's the other side. There's a controversy now because they're going to say, what? We're not in the picture for those who care, because there's always that
right.
gray area.
Well, I'm happy for those who care, but think about it. You don't. There's a saying, or it seemed to be suggested in Jamaica, that you find that somebody has a child for Joe, and then Joe goes off, and in order to support her household, she has a baby for some other person, and that money supports the household.
Okay.
No, if you've been gone from Jamaica too long, so let me tell you. So
Okay.
if if no, I knew that I would get a stipend for my children. I might have more children, one, two, but also I would be less dependent on an individual to support my household, and perhaps I wouldn't be subjected to so much domestic violence.
There is oversight. I always come back to the oversight thing. You're
Yeah.
not just going to get the subsidy like that. You have to follow specific rules. That's in my mind. That's how it would be done in my world. So Joe, wherever he is, he's going to pay into the child care. And the other person, whether you marry him or not, he's going to pay into the household for his child. So there should be a balance. Joe is not going to run off scot-free.
You're wanting to hold us to some measure of being
accountability. Yep.
We don't handle that word very well down here.
No more deadbeat dads.
I don't know that we in Jamaica subscribe to the accountability, especially upon the daddy side.
Well, you can't get no money. See, nothing is free.
Yes, that's true. At the end of the day, nothing is free. But if in fact this article is correct, it's quite interesting. It says while after the highest contribution of the 94 billion, it says preparing and serving food has the highest contribution to all domestic activities, $258 billion. So again,
phenomenal amount.
Those are significant amounts, and the total study identified well over $900 billion. It says that Jamaican women spent more time on unpaid labor, regardless of their consumptions, their group, their region, where they were from, what them do, what them don't do. It states that the study noted that the time spent on unpaid work has an opportunity cost for women, as it means less time available for paid work and the reduced ability to keep quality jobs.
That's true, because now the skill sets are going down. Even if they had skills and they could work outside the home, they're now focused on child rearing, keeping the household going. So you're now losing your skill sets. You're not out in the social conscious area of the society. So, there's a lot that goes into that, making us suffer.
It's a whole bus subsidy, because then I'm wanting to think then that it's really the domestic workers, the paid domestic workers, that really are sacrificing the most, because they could become more than domestic workers. They could practice another kind of a craft if they knew that, they didn't have to spend so much time washing, caring for my house, your house, and then go home, go figure out for them house as well. And their children would be under a little bit more care or management.
Here's the rub though, Dr. Diana. When you think about it, they're working for someone else and they're putting their all into that job, and no one's taking care of their household. So again, we have the imbalance. We have their kids running amok, not being cared for, while they're being paid somewhat for someone else's household. So where do we strike the balance?
Subsidy.
I know. Everybody gets an incentive. No more lazy moms. Because we do have those.
Yes, that's true.
And I must admit, when I was a little kid, I thought my mom just sat at the dining table and wrote out stuff. And these people came as someone to take care of us, someone to wash and do stuff. And I thought that's how it was.
Yes.
And even to this day, I still see her sitting at the table writing out. I go, "What are you doing?" She goes, "Oh, I'm making the menu for today." And I'm like, "Why? You're gonna cook?"
Oh, but you have to write it down so that everybody knows what they have to do and do what they have to do.
She doesn't share it. I'd come over more often.
Are you serious? I thought you were doing it to share it.
It's habit. It's
Okay.
habit. So
She just doing what she always does.
exactly. But I always thought you had at least 2 people who showed up and they cooked and washed and and then we didn't do that in the States. We had to do everything. We had chores.
Yeah. Everybody had a duty.
Exactly.
I see some other comments.
Yeah. Let's get to the comments.
YouTube and see what's
all right. Jude said, good morning all. In Canada, there is benefit called Canada Child Tax Benefit paid to families with kids. However, it's tied to income, which the income determined when you file your tax return. So that's a subsidy sort. And wait a minute, my is gone again.
What's gone?
My feed is gone again. Hold on, let me see if I can get it back.
It seemed to be here on YouTube.
Okay.
If I could get it up.
I don't know. I'm not keeping my feed. I'm gonna get the hang of this, guys. Oh Lord, because it says live chat, but I'm not seeing.
Okay, so when but you were just reading it.
I know, and then it froze, and then it stopped, and I went in and hold on.
Guys, we some teething pains, but we really miss Leo and Michelle because I mean they are the experts on this, and they would have been just doing all the back end thing, and I could just sit down and chat and cuss Leo.
Mine stopped at Jude's, and that's it. Oh. And I know there were more comments.
Well,
anything on YouTube?
It says 3 people are watching, but I don't see them saying anything. I don't know if I have to sign in to see them say anything.
Yeah, you may have to sign in.
Okay. I don't know my sign in to sign in, so.
Oh, here we go. Carlene Madden, she says, being a mother and a wife is priceless. I so agree. June South says, greetings. And BM says it's still going on. Yeah, that's a never-ending job.
Somebody says, Marky says, good morning, folks. Leo was on it saying, he says, Dr. Johnny look better. And he said,
oh, no, mean.
Pretty. Becky said I flight though, have no more connectivity to make no more comments.
Troublemaker, right?
Yeah.
Hi, Paulette Chambers.
Oh, welcome, Paulette Chambers.
She said she didn't get the Facebook notification. Where is Michelle and Leo?
All right,
I want to tell him.
Dr. Joni, you tell him. You tell her.
Well, I know Leo is on a flight, and Michelle, I think, is at the beach.
Michelle will bust on you. So Michelle had to come down on an emergency. So she's in Jamaica. So she's soaking up a little bit.
Oh, wow.
She leaves. So we will excuse her this time around. But she's at the beach for true. So that's the story about them. Then they abandoned us today, and then Dr. Joni and I had to figure out how to sign on, how to go live, how to read the comment, all the other things, because it's just not easy. It's not easy.
I'm seeing that now. I totally appreciate you guys for all these years of doing this, because now I'm trying to figure it out, and you think, oh, she's a techie person.
Yes, I'm thinking too.
It's not that easy.
Easier said than done. But guys, we still gonna have some fun. We're not gonna make this spoil no show.
Yeah, this is not gonna stop us. So I know that we had this other thing with the heightened crime.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's
I mean, oh my goodness.
how could your government make such an announcement to say that Jamaica, they must avoid travel to Jamaica? That's horrible
It's
for us, you know.
pathetic. My
That was a
heart bleeds.
horrible thing for us, man. We already have problem. I know we have problem. We're not saying no to that. But 4 months after the last one, gonna decide to announce against the people of come to Jamaica.
Listen, if it was up to me, they wouldn't put that out. But I will say, when I look at the list of areas, it's almost like, well, where are people gonna go? Because there goes the tourism industry.
Mm-hmm.
They're hitting Montego Bay, Westmoreland. I mean, come on. You can't go to Kingston. There are parts of St. Catherine. I mean,
And then my poor Clarendon.
yes,
Just use the highway. Don't stop. Don't come off.
exactly. And then they have this link that tells you more information on each of those spots.
Really, there's
So
another.
what are they? Yeah, there's an actual link that takes you outside of that list so you can get specific information for the area. I
Mm-mm.
think it's grossly unfair. Our most important industry is tourism. So what's going to happen now?
I don't know. I shuddered every time that the US issues one of these proclamation to
Hmm.
say, don't travel to Jamaica or be careful when you come to Jamaica to avoid these areas. But when they issue an announcement, like the last one they did that says, avoid Montego Bay altogether, avoid
So
St.
you
James,
can't land.
yeah, avoid Trelawney, St. Anne. I don't think they mentioned Trelawney, but avoid
And
St.
and
These are critical pockets of tourism operation.
exactly.
And if that wasn't bad enough, Dr. Joni, they then said, you're not safe in the all inclusives.
Yes. Did you see that list? That was horrifying. I was going, oh my God, they listed the types of crimes.
And then no, I go on the US news and there are shootings.
Yeah.
And you guys had your last shooting that we know of yesterday. A 15
How
year old
about this morning?
a 15-year-old Dr. Joni.
Yeah, and that was where New York City someplace. I
Oh,
think that's where it was. I mean, I think personally, I think it's something to do with the pandemic, social media, and just a lot of the economic issues.
mhm,
You know, yes, there are jobs, but not everyone can get those jobs. So you still have that gap between
mhm,
skills and opportunity. And I think it's taken a toll. And more people are more involved with social media. So we're seeing people kind of not realizing that social media is entertainment and information.
mhm,
It's not the reality.
mhm.
So there's a whole mixture of desperation.
Oh man, it's serious. I decided to Google gun violence archive mass shootings in 2022. And I'm looking in the US and I'm going to read for some fun a place that is saying to people don't come to Jamaica. I started
Hmm.
October 9th. October 9th, two shootings, one in Miami, three injured, one dead. October 9th, South Carolina, five killed, zero injured.
Hmm.
October 10th, California, one killed, three injured. October 13th, North Carolina, Raleigh, five killed, three injured. October 13th, Alabama, zero killed, six injured. No, and you tell you these are people so random. Let us pick that one in Riley.
Hmm.
People just in them place them in this quiet neighborhood that them live and think, and this young man just shoot them up.
People crazy, that's all. People have had it and they're taking out their frustration. I mean, I can go a step further outside the US. What about that police officer, I think it was in Thailand, he went into the school and shot, he just stabbed all the kids and everything. I mean, what is happening to people on a whole? If we look at it from that perspective, something is happening across the world that's making people just lose hope and lash out.
By have they lost their God? Have
If they
they?
had God.
I mean, back in the day, we never had this, and guns existed, but guns perhaps weren't just so accessible. In Thailand, guns are not as very accessible. But this man who murdered, attacked the kindergarten school, he was an
Exactly.
ex-police officer, so he had
Had a
access.
gun.
So it would seem as if the ease of access to these firearm pieces is really the crunch of the matter.
But then
yeah,
we have the situation of all these guns in Jamaica. Where are they getting it from?
no, no, I said it come give we.
Oh
no! No, we don't make none. Oh no! Oh no, I said it come give we not make none down here.
I agree that it's not made there. And I don't think the government is doing enough to stop the importation. I mean, where their focus is more of a money-making thing. Like I hear the stories of people sending barrels and being charged astronomical amounts, and yet still we're seeing more and more guns coming in, more crime, more murders and stuff like that. It doesn't add up because we're not manufacturing them. And I say we as if I'm living in Jamaica, but you know what I mean.
I know. Regardless of where you guys are, still a we, meaning we Jamaicans. We Jamaicans.
Care.
And that's fine. We love that. The matter of the guns in Jamaica, though, is a long-standing problem, and you say that the borders are not secure. And right. It reminds me of listening to Winsome Packer, and she's an expert on security. She worked with the U.S. government for a number of years, and then she retired. And I remember listening to her at a university here, and she was presenting on the porous borders, saying that there are so many gaps within our borders, which allows the easy importation of contraband, including firearms. So it don't necessarily come through the barrel at the port.
Right. That's true.
There are other ways to take it in, because it could come to some other place and then just get on one of those speedboats and come in. But we also have to be mindful that the police here in Jamaica is always talking about there's a trade, it seems, between Jamaican gangsters and Haiti.
I saw something, but I have to investigate that because I wasn't really following the whole thing, but it seems like there is something going on there. I don't know if it's St. Thomas that they're coming via and there is some route or something that goes on, but I have to look into that, because then that makes me wonder, with all the problems Haiti has, what's going on?
Where Haiti get money from for buy gold?
Exactly.
I'm asking the question because I always say to myself, but them always say Haiti, have these issues and Haiti this and that. Then what they get money from a buy a gun? So it look like is a gun, is a drug. It's almost like it's some trade off between some drugs. So we sell you the drug, you drop it off. I don't even begin to understand.
All fingers point where, right?
Yes, at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, Jamaican name easy for call. So
I know.
Was there an issue? Did the US issue don't travel to Haiti?
Not that I can recall. I mean, nobody really goes there. They go to Dominican Republic, remember? Vacation spot. So yeah, but I don't recall hearing like a travel advisory or anything for Haiti. I mean, because the minute you say Haiti, are they still recovering from the storms, the earthquake? That's the mindset.
Boy, I think Haiti, Haiti has been through so much. You want to catch up with some messages? Let me see what.
Absolutely.
If you can see them. Can you see them?
So yeah, Philip says those are some unfortunate comments. The Jamaican would let us know this information. It's for our safety across the board. Violence is worldwide. We have to make safe choices. VM says end of time. And Jude said, just to play devil's advocate, do you think that this could have a positive impact though? Since the
What?
country is so heavily reliant on the tourism, this could be a push to get crime solving in Jamaica, a
So
more robust and quick.
who going to solve it?
That's the thing. We don't have enough resources because that was one of the big items. They said they don't have enough resources to tackle crime, no detectives, police force is lacking. Even the police are leaving, right?
Yeah,
They're going to greener pastures.
Leaving. I'll just pick up a few messages. Philip had said, "Good morning, guys. You're doing great. We're listening. Thank you very much."
Thank you.
And says they can go to St. Thomas. We have nice beaches.
They still have to land.
And she reminds me that the mass shooting was in North Carolina, the last one.
Yes.
Marquez says, yes, that was North Carolina. And I think you caught up on the others.
Yes, Sandra said, good morning, besties, fellow panelists, and fellow listeners.
Hey, Sandra, welcome, my bestie. We chatted last night on another show. I'm happy that you've joined us. You kept your promise. She said that she would join. The fellow panelist is a fellow host, and it's Dr. Joni. And Dr. Joni is sharing with me because Leo Runway, Michelle She gonna enjoy beach. I wonder which beach she there. She should have called in and tell us which.
Yeah.
Make we bad mind her a little bit more.
Mark Hayes says there has always been a gun barter system. Weed, drugs for guns. Been around long time.
Whoa.
He also said, I think Haiti has a long-standing travel advisory. That's true.
Saying don't go, Mark, is it saying just don't travel to Haiti?
Exactly, plain and straight. And VM says, how do we know that guns are not manufactured in Jamaica? Black people are very inventive. Oh my God.
You know, we can't make all those caliber of guns, so we might make a one pop. Yes, there's a time when
one pop not gonna do anything.
Exactly. So Heslop, look here, man. A little one pop, we might have made down there a little homemade gun. First time that's what we used to hear in the news. A homemade gun was recovered. No, them are recover AK-47 and Glock and
I know.
Not
definitely not Jamaica.
Not Jamaican made. Definitely not Jamaican made. Oh my gosh. Guys,
But I tell you.
Anything else that we want to
No, I'm not seeing anything on YouTube.
No, it was just Mark here who was here. Leo's gone. It says that I have 5 people watching, but I don't know who they are because they don't declare themselves.
Come on, people, let's hear from you. This must be hurtful. I mean, think about it. Where are these people gonna land? If they can't land in Kingston, they can't land in Mobay.
Yes.
How are they gonna come in and bring in the dollars?
But you know, Johnny, we talk about it and saying that it needs to be fixed. Perhaps it is high time that the government, through the different ministries that are affected, have a conversation together. So it is tourism that is being impacted. It's a national security issue. It's an education concern. The whole of them, all ministries, but at least the top 3 should perhaps come together and say, okay, guys, this is dire. This is crazy. We can't continue like this. The US issues such an advisory, and the response that I see, I don't hear nothing from the national.
Not even a pin drop. And that is very disgusting to me because when you think about it, That's your most important industry. And if people are being told don't come, and when you look at the places they cannot even be bothered to enter, where are you gonna land the planes? And the cruise ships are gonna pass us by now because the ports.
Well,
so where are we gonna get money?
They might have to go land the plane over St. Mary at Leo Airport there. So he might have seen like an uptick over in Arakabeso.
Make a little money.
Can make a little more money. But it speaks though that there is a serious problem in Jamaica.
Absolutely.
That we who live here in Jamaica need to be very concerned. Because if somebody on the outside has sufficient data to put this kind of communication out there, together, we probably don't hear half of the things that happen then.
That's true. And you know what else, Dr. Diana? What happened to that $10 million the US gave Jamaica to start to help those inner city youths, give them training and stuff, deter them from crime? What happened to that money?
You see, you're asking questions that require accountability. What is wrong with you? You ask me questions that
can't help myself.
This is
still want to know where that money went.
Oh, then we have to buy clothes, we have to run some dance, we have to give out some money, go back to school, and all of those things. And you want if I counted one little $10 million.
Well, of course. If it's gonna help us, if it's gonna help us, I would want to know where the money went. I mean, I can't imagine us going on like this. I mean, think about it. We thrive on tourism. And if people can't come, our little visits once in a while is not going to be enough.
That's true. That's true. But Uno soon stop come because the advisory tell Uno say Uno not to come.
Yeah, that's true too.
But you go and drop Clarendon now and drive over to Philip Place in Manchester because then
maybe we'll fly over and drop something out there on the plane.
But then it breeds for people who live in Clarendon now, who really live and are passionate about their community, and they see such a report. How are they to feel within themselves that they're to lose hope?
But then again, who is seeing the report? Because the people who would want to do something, are they seeing these reports? Are they aware? And if they are, what can they start to do? Because it starts at home.
But Johnny, the people them who see the report and who get the report before you and I read it in the newspaper, them are the ones who we elect to do something.
Yeah, but from what I see, a lot of people are more into the party than the issues. Or maybe they have to make a change and start to put the issues before the party. Who is actually going to talk about the real issues? And then show an option or a bunch of steps that will get them past those issues.
Or perhaps, the truth is that we who put them in power need to demand more. You use that A word about accountability.
Accountability, yeah.
We perhaps need to be holding them accountable for something.
Feet to the fire. And maybe we don't give them a full term. Maybe we change the way in which the terms are doled out. And if you're not getting something done or starting something within a certain amount of time, you gotta go.
Right.
You gotta go, because you can't sit there and not do anything. People are suffering. The country is suffering.
We the people need to demand some action. We the people need to demand that accountability. But then we the people need to be educated as to our benefits. And it's not by let me go into something totally different now. Look at the squatting issue.
Oh, geez.
These people not having full knowledge of what is, or having knowledge that these people usually do business for those other people, engage for property purchase with them.
That's true.
Because one, not because they're not educated in the traditional academic pursuits, they're not educated as to how this land process go. Too much sleight of hand, too much failure to be accountable, probably is what.
Backdoor deals and feigning ignorance. Oh, I didn't know. Somebody told me and I just thought that was it. A lot of that. But Carlene Madden said we have to buy expensive birthday cake and other stuff.
Yes, I'm having a big party and buy expensive cake and champagne and all of them things there out of the money.
Yep. And June said they better go take down the 12 billion sign.
Oh my gosh, that was a sign. They built a sign in Negril. $12 million, you know, for the sign that they erect in Negril. 12 million. You know, then all when if hurricane did come and just blow it that now, so you know how far that $12 million could go for the
it
people.
Could feed people. Show up the borders.
Oh, and save a life.
Exactly.
Well,
Noel said the crime situation is bad in USA even more. Let them address that.
Well, Noel,
it's all pockets.
We spoke about that. We mentioned that, and we read some articles about, you know, since October 9th to date, the number of mass shootings that they have suffered. Yes, but we can't sweep our problem under the rug. It has
to be addressed.
Joni says people are not going to come here. People are going to be concerned. And we who live here are going to be even further concerned about our safety.
Exactly. Yeah. Mark says the bigger question is for Jamaica, is it time to ask for a different kind of assistance? The police can't solve crimes or are too corrupt. That's the point too. You gotta know who you're dealing with.
Oh gosh, that's the other thing. But Mark, what is the other thing that we're going to ask for? What is a different kind of assistance? What is a different kind of assistance?
Accountability. Everybody's gonna have to tell on everybody else. Mark says it takes a lot of educated people with integrity to run a country. You know that one of the things in the article was the amount of corruption. You know,
commonplace.
Exactly. At the highest level, all the way down, just a lot of corruption. And Philip said, all elected officials must be held accountable. Most of these elected and representatives are not knowledgeable to the issues. That's true. They just want the big title. They want to say they're an MP, but they're not doing anything. And I feel until people start to vote issues and not party, we're going to continue to see this problem.
And I want to support Philip, because I've always said that these people who are offering themselves up as officials must be educated to a particular level. And these people who are appointed to positions of ministers, they must have some reasonable knowledge of the sector that they're being placed in.
Exactly.
You understand? Somebody who grew up chopping up saltfish all the days of their life because their parents run a shop or a supermarket. How the hell them become a minister of national this and a minister of national that when them accepting commerce? We could have
no, there's no tie-in whatsoever.
I'm wanting a job. The Jamaica Teaching Council bill demands that a teacher must be qualified as a teacher, must be trained at a minimum level to become a teacher.
Precisely.
It demands further that after a number of years, the teacher have to get renewal of the certificate to say that he or she still can be regarded as a teacher. Now, what is the qualification for the Governor General to retain his office? What is the qualification for the members of parliament to
Parliament.
retain their office, to even enter their office, much more to
Much
retain?
of it. Exactly.
Hmm?
Exactly.
But-
Accountability again. I'm an accountability person. I'm sorry. If you're not gonna do your due diligence, walk off. You're
we,
not doing anything for me.
Mhm. But they seem to be, they embrace the concept of accountability, you know. They embrace the concept, but they're just not adopting it for themselves.
No,
They
it's for
embrace,
other people.
so I'm keeping you accountable, but never mind me. I'm the
Yeah,
boss.
don't pay attention to me. Do as I say, not as I do. Maybe
Ah,
that's why Lisa left. Lisa
ah,
Hannah, she had
okay.
enough.
You can't take no more.
She wants to do something and others are not interested in doing anything, only enjoying the perks.
I don't know what person. No, you have very little. Well, it depends.
Yeah, but some of them can't travel, right?
Yeah, some can travel, but that is for them perk. There
But they
must be,
can drive around the island,
yes,
big shot.
as big shot and have outriders. It can burn me, see, when I'm trying to beat the traffic, when I'm trying to get along and skip my potholes and stuff, and them come woo 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 woo, and police I give them outrider, and me have to
Wow.
because the traffic piling up. Me have to late because me have to slow down for the pothole, and everybody must come out of the road so that
So
them
they can pass.
I
Oh
will
my
stop for
God.
any police officer seemingly running down thief. I will stop for any ambulance, but let me tell you, say them I forgot give me a ticket. Because when I notice there's an idle MP just trying to catch up with him girlfriend or him baby mother, or for go drop him children at school or whatever else it is,
Oh my God.
they must leave on time like I have to. So if they know that they have a meeting down at Parliament, they
Leave
must
early.
on time to endure the traffic like the rest of the society. Show some commonness with us. You can't be just common with us when you want to come and have a drink near election time and to sit on a bar stool and go on like your vibes with the people. Show the common person when you sit down in traffic, get up from Portmore at 6 o'clock so that you can reach in a Kingston for 7:30. Come, join the traffic. No outrider, none of these fly past everybody and treat everybody with contempt. You know, say you're going to Maypen. I going to Maypen. I leave in 2 hours ahead. Leave 2 hours ahead to foolishness. Tired of them.
Oh,
Tired of
I
all
can't
them.
believe
Government.
that's what you endure. I didn't know it was like that. With
Yes.
the lights and everything.
Yes.
But
Outright.
for what?
Outright. I'll come to the stoplight and stop you. Boom, 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 and look on you with contempt if you're not slow down fast enough so that them can fly around. It's crazy.
VM said they can always buy the degrees.
Well, I make them buy. Make them buy. Make them buy. Anybody else selling, make them buy. Make we get to talk about that too.
There's too much what is the term now?
What?
I can't think of the term, you know. Oh my goodness, it went right out of my head. But anyway, they just think everything is there for them. And
Entitlement.
everybody
What
else,
is entitlement?
entitlement. Thank you.
I said
And
entitlement.
exactly. And that has to stop. That's gonna have to stop because the people who need the entitlement not getting it.
People who
The
put them
people you serve.
some benefits.
Exactly.
I don't think that our leadership across the full sector of Jamaica understand the concept of servant leadership. That they don't, it's nowhere in their vocab or their psyche that as a leader you're really here to serve first.
But sadly, even if they come from humble beginnings, that would make you want to be more aware and want to serve. I mean, how can you tell me that you used to struggle and then you get the opportunity to do better and you forget the struggle? That doesn't make sense.
Well, probably not have none of them who had to struggle. Them probably come to it in a position of entitlement. We probably don't have none of them who can identify with those things. So they've lost that common touch. Probably that is it.
So if they lost the common touch, they don't need to be there.
They shouldn't.
They
And
need people who really want change, who can really tell you what it's like to suffer, what it's like to struggle. Again, you know where I'm going with this, right? Forget the party, vote the issues.
they must vote issues.
Issues.
You have to concentrate on issues. But I don't know. It probably is hard to some of the times.
Yeah, but you can't I can't understand how you're suffering, but come election time, you only worry about the party. That's crazy. You're suffering. Start to look and say, well, he didn't do anything or she didn't do
Yes.
anything. Let me look for someone who says they might do. Give them a chance, regardless of party. Give them a chance so maybe they could do something.
You know, until we really begin to upset the apple cart with that kind of a mindset, not
Mm-hmm.
now go on for we. Not
True.
now go on for we. Until indeed people start to say, well, okay, 20 year you there, so 15 year you there, so I'm still living in my one room. Not now go
Mm-hmm.
on, still have to drive on them whole bad road. You fly over or you have outrider where you or me have to pay for your tire them. So really
Mm.
matter fly cross because buy tire, buy shocks for your vehicle. And me have to buy it for you. Until
Mm-hmm.
we begin to look at those issues. But
Right.
then, Joni, that it goes to the fact that people need to be educated.
Yeah.
People need to be educated that no, you don't have to vote along this issue as a matter of protest. You need to vote with the issue,
Right.
regardless of the implications. Just vote for the issue.
So where does that start?
Education, it starts in small group,
Primary
small
school.
community. True. Yeah. What am I going to say? I teach politics.
No, no, no. But that's the realistic part of life. You have to know what's going on. And in order to see the good and the bad in your society, you have to be aware. And the awareness comes through your family, your community, and where you go to school. The first inkling, I think here it's the third grade, you start to become more and more aware beyond just the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we
Mm.
have that in Jamaica?
Well, we stopped teach civics a long time. And because it's
God.
civics is that subject that tells you about your nation, where you're coming from, what is right, what your constitution speaks to, all of those other things. We stopped teaching that long time. No, but them are people that know everything about America and the rest of the world more than they know about Jamaica. Them know the Jamaican flag color, yeah, and them know that are probably just about it. They might struggle to tell you the meaning of the colors. They might struggle even to tell you what is the national anthem because we don't teach that sense of pride and responsibility to our people.
I take issue with this worshiping of foreign. I
Mm.
mean, I do. One day I had a conversation. I had to say, oh my God, this person is more American than me. The way they were carrying on. And I said, but they never even left Jamaica. What the heck is this? They were more American. They were emotional and they were talking. I said, but you don't know anything. What you just said is what you heard. That's stupid. Think
Mm.
about what you're saying. And they were all up in arms. And I said, nah, this person is, maybe they should come here and vote and I should go to Jamaica because this is really ridiculous. But Juice said it's driven by greed. Once you become a PM, whether by being educated or through lineage, you become greedy. No concern about constituents again, only about themselves.
That's
That's
true.
for sure. And Carlene says Jamaicans' memories are short. Only a few persons will look at the impact the ruling party had on the country. Did the economy grow, etc.? So
True.
there we
That.
can see that there's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And of course, if you buy them a drink or a meal, they're happy. You don't
And
have to do
yes, if you
anything
give them
major.
money, give them some money. So
Yeah.
the whole 5 year or 3 or 4 year, and you them come into on $25,000 or 30 or $40,000 in a one day, one instance, and then give them right.
Forget everything.
Don't understand their right. They don't understand the power of their vote.
That's the licky mentality.
Yes.
And Sandra said sometimes those people from humble beginnings forget that the tree grow from the root and not from the leaves and branches, for sure, Sandra.
Yes, Sandra, profound.
Mark says Jamaica need assistance with governance, transparency standards, and outside government assistance to implement these practices.
Yep.
IMF loan and other assistance should be tied to compliance. Otherwise,
the most ruthless,
incompetent people take over. It's a big complex topic because we are headed to fail state status. Lord, I don't want to see that.
But hold on, Dr. Johnny, somebody had referred to us as a failed state some years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
That person is now a minister of government. I wonder if he still regards the country as a
failed state. Maybe worse.
Because no, we should probably look at the economic standing and the level of criminality and violence and the orders against the nation issued by the US at that time. That's going to be an interesting. Let me write it down. I'm going to look.
Yeah, we're gonna look into that.
We're going to look into that. Next time we're going to talk about Jamaica failed state. We want the data.
Exactly. And BM said sometimes when people arrive from the struggle, they forget others. Civics class is a way to educate, for sure. And of course, he's questioning the fact that there's no civics classes.
Nope.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. She said, by the way, Joni, you are fabulous. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Sandra.
That means a lot. Thank you.
Almost natural in here.
And Philip says awareness is the key, but they try to deprive us by distracting us with violence and fighting against each other. Greed for free and quick money, for sure. Oh my goodness. Boy, Jamaica need cleanup. And you know, as a kid, growing up, my father would say Jamaica mashup, and I was like, what does he mean? And then as an adult, I went to Jamaica to hang out, and I'm like, but this place is not mashed up. What was he talking about? You know, he's like Jamaica mashup, and that was it. You know, but I think there is hope.
There's always hope. But your father talking about all these things that he has to be scared of. Back in his day, he could walk and he could go to a party.
Oh yeah, they have tales of that.
So that's why I'm saying Jamaica mashup.
Exactly, you know, but you have to be there to build. You know,
I don't know that I don't know that I agree that you have to be there to build.
How so?
I think that those who have to be here must be aware sufficiently and demand that accountability that you speak about from those who are here. I believe there is a role for the people in the diaspora. There is a role for them to lend their competence and their capacity from time to time. But I don't know that they have to come to implement policies and procedures.
Oh, not necessarily come, but there should be an openness, because I've tried to find out ways in which I could help.
Yes.
And there's so many barriers.
There's a whole heap of hurdles for you to jump.
Yes.
Hoops to go through.
Hoops. Walls that you can't go around. You know, it's challenging, but I won't give up.
No, don't give up. We'll find ways to already have ways for you to help, you know, with our medical coding, Dr. Joni. That is probably the closest thing that I can relate to.
And that could be a big economic boost.
Yes, medical coding.
And I have an issue. I always said Jamaica is one of, no longer the only English speaking country in the Caribbean. Yet still, Canada and the US will go as far as the Philippines to get people to do customer service work, even the coding. They'll go there. I've also seen where they're using South Americans and they're not paying attention to us. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And then one day I had a conversation. I said, but Jamaicans don't speak English. So I said, excuse me, how am I speaking with you? And their mouths fell open. You're Jamaican? I said, of course. And they were like, oh, I thought they spoke another language. I said, and what would that be?
But you see, it's our fault because a lot of them walk around talking about Patois is the official language.
That's true.
Patois is no language.
It's not a language, it's a dialect.
Exactly. And a lot of the educators, some educators are advocating for Patois to be the language.
It cannot be. And I'll tell you why. Yeah. When you're studying IT, it's taught in English across the world. Yep. When you're studying business, it's taught in English across the world. So when would we get a chance to get everybody into the mindset when we can't even, if you go to Kingston and you speak in Patois and you go to Westmoreland, they don't even hardly understand each other. So if we can get it together there, how are we going to tell the rest of the world that we're an official language?
Well, let me tell you, I've never supported the notion of Patois becoming an official language. I think that we need to focus on teaching everybody English because
I agree.
It's not writing their paper in Patois for us. Nobody else is writing anything for us in Patois, so we're not going to be competitive. And I thank you for saying that business is taught and the computer languages and stuff, they're all taught in English. Exactly. And if we don't grasp that sufficiently to be able to get jobs for ourselves in Jamaica, then what is going to happen? The US going to issue more warning about us.
I know. They'll just totally just ignore us after a while. We won't exist.
Yeah.
Lawton says, good morning, ladies. I am one that truly have the faith that there's still hope for our beautiful country, Jamaica. Here, here.
Oh, all right, Mr. Wilkins. We're there with you. Rum buckle in hand. Yes.
Oh no. And Mark says Patois as official language. That is like having the fools in charge. I definitely agree. We're not getting anywhere with that. But there's so much that we could do if we would just get out of the mindset of thinking we're foreign. You know, that's half the battle, you know. This idea that you're projecting this stuff you get from TV and other media and thinking that's okay, when here it's part of the ills of our society. I mean, why would you want to emulate that?
Because we don't have a value system that that appeals to us more than that.
Is it that we don't have it or we lost it?
All right. And you're probably quite right. We have lost that value, those values that have kept us as family, that has kept us focused on, or we probably don't have no goals. Probably there's a failure to communicate.
That's true.
Or to communicate some values to the nation. Probably we just simply void of those values, and not that we've lost them, we just void of them. There's nobody saying to you that these are the things that we're targeting for the next 2 years, except to say you want GDP or inflation and all of that.
We're just talking above people's heads. Let's get down to the basics.
Just like you get to the basics when it's voting time, break down the issues for the country and make them achievable. So you want to achieve, the report says that 34% pass of maths at CXC. What is the plan that you put in place over the next 2 years with immediate effect so that 2 years time you see an increase in performance in the classes? Except a talk and saying 35%, which is a 2% increase over last year,
Yeah. And that means nothing.
What is
We're
that?
gonna put it on your wall, and that's about it.
Yes. What happened to the country? What happened next year? What is the plan that you've put in place to ensure continuous improvement? What is the plan that
Exactly.
you've shared with the country to say, guys, this is where we're going, this is how we're going to get there, these are the benefits for everybody? When you look around and say, okay, benefits, but it's only one set of the society benefits, what is the point in me supporting it?
That's true. And I mean, the flip side is okay, so someone does well, but they've got to be able to use that knowledge that they've just and skills they just acquired. Industries, we're not seeing any growth in industries, not seeing new industries. And I notice, and I watch a lot of YouTube, I notice people are innovators, they're inventors, they do things.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have something, they will find a way to model it and have it work for themselves. So let us start to look inward and do that. Build up industries, support ourselves, not just depend on outside monies and imports and all that stuff. Let us start to build from within.
But it assumes that you have an educated nation. You can't build without an educated nation.
Right. But education have different facets.
Yes,
You
agreed.
have, the traditional university,
Yes,
etc. But then you have vocational training. We
yes,
need that. We
yes.
don't need a little one man. I can paint, and then he goes,
Uh,
no
yes,
paint.
you paint.
Right. But is it quality painting? We need to start to develop those technical vocational skills that does not require you to have a university background. Just practical knowledge that you can put your hands in and do some work. I
But
mean, we need
Dr.
that.
Johnny, you have to then change the psyche of the nation, of the young
That's true.
people, to embrace that working with your hands is great.
Hmm.
You don't just do it when you're going on farm work. Um,
Right,
Something
right.
that is productive. You can do it here in your own country, that there's value to it. I remember when I was growing up, they had a lot of what they used to call trade training centers. And people would go, you go to this one because they're doing welding, or they go to that one because it's woodwork and all of those things. These were the centers at which you built the skill sets in the different vocations. Now you have to
Exactly.
struggle to find somewhere to send somebody to go learn welding, or to go send them for good woodwork classes. That is
And
of
it
no
shouldn't be
value.
that way. It should not be that way. We should be honing those skills and making it marketable to the point where we can start to export and make money, become part of the world's platform when it comes to
Mhm,
marketing. And we're
mhm.
not doing that. We keep looking outside and then wishing on a star. Everybody's trying to get away to make this country and others rich,
Mhm.
because there are days when I sit around and I'm upset because I'm like, I could apply this in Jamaica and I'm sitting here doing what? So, but don't get me started on that one.
Oh
Don't
God.
get me started. So,
Let me tell you serious. We need to make people know that working with their hands. I swear that I'm going to need a plumber, and it's going to be some man with a Spanish accent that is going to turn up to be my plumber, because we're not training them, we're not telling them the value of it.
and people are coming in and setting up businesses and then they take the money offshore. I mean, come on.
Common practice, especially in the tourism sector. No, that is another thing. We could spend a whole day arguing about it. But Dr. Joni, more than half of the operators of these hotels are
I'm
not
foreigners.
based. And all they do is that the top part of it is pure foreigner there. Them tell us that them don't have
Hmm.
no competent people. Look at me, I'm here. Them don't have no
Exactly.
competent people to head in their management team. And the bulk of the money gone a foreign, the bulk of the money gone, the bulk of the money gone.
And
Hmm.
they're supposed to be paying taxes. They're not paying the
Them
taxes.
avoid that at any
Because
opportunity.
here in the US, I can speak to this, that little Western Union, is a little cubby hole in a supermarket. It's not a big building. They have a little space. And when you look at the Chamber of Commerce for the area they operate in, they have to give money to for the lights, the street lights, the roads, cleaning up snow and everything. Where's that accountability in Jamaica? They have the big building, people wrapped around it to collect money, and we need clinics. We need better roads. We need secured street lights and all these things. And nobody's saying, hey, what are they giving us?
But Dr. Joni, just where you started this morning, the accountability. Nobody has asked them to be accountable in these ways. Nobody is inviting them to address this announcement by the mighty US, the different communities, tourism, Ministry of Health, National Security, none of them not coming together as a group to say, hey guys, we have to deal with this collectively. No accountability.
But I think, if not to cut you off, I think part of it is they're happy with their little cutback or their kickbacks. And to damn with the rest of the people, because I can see a private doctor and I can travel abroad to get the additional services I need. So that's where it stops. And until people start to ask the questions and demand things, it's gonna continue. And they're laughing all the way to the bank because they got over on us. And I've been in conversations in rooms where people don't know who I am, and I've heard those little snickers of how they got over on those poor people in such and such a country. And it's disgusting. You know, a lot of people don't realize how valuable and important Jamaica is because they're looking elsewhere.
Mindset.
Yeah. Paulette says if you speak patois all the time, when you travel or in another country, you're not able to speak properly and express yourself intelligently. That's true.
Then I go understand you.
And she says, I think we lost it.
The values.
Yes.
Okay.
And Mark says, Paulette Chambers, you're right.
We lost it.
Yep. Mark goes on to say, I don't think Dr. Diana is saying that being educated only means higher education or a degree. A painter, gardener needs to be educated, and we need educated population. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But sometimes when we talk about education, people only think of one aspect. Oh, university, and they're not realizing it takes everybody to grow a nation.
Every aspect of it.
Exactly.
Dr. Johnny, for some strange reason, time seems to be moving.
Yeah.
Moving fast with great company. We have 10 minutes or so, and I want to remind persons to post their birthday wishes so that we can make those shout outs. Dr. Johnny, it's such a pleasure to sit here with you, and I hope that you make some time to come and join us again and again and again. I'm going to badger you. I'm going to be a sore.
It was my honor. I'm so happy to have been able to fill in. Thank you for inviting me.
No,
and thank you all for your support.
Yes, we quite enjoyed. I mean, yeah, we really thank you so much for being so responsive and for doing it. So I'm going to shout out some birthdays. My friend, my church brother, Andre Anderson, he's having birthday today, but he is going to bring the cake for church tomorrow. And he's not buying an expensive birthday cake. I know we're not having a birthday celebration, but Andre, happy birthday. And then there's a god sister of mine. I don't know if we have god sisters, but my mom was her godmother. Grace Chambers, she's having birthday today as well. And so Grace, somewhere up in New York or on some American airline flight, being cute. Happy birthday, darling. Jackie Mackenzie Cameron, a former Clarendon College student, has a birthday today as well. So, hey, Jackie, happy birthday. Michael Tomlinson, who is on our show, he had a birthday earlier this week. I don't remember if we had hit a shout out to him, but happy birthday, Michael. Trust that you had a good day and you continue to enjoy the rest of the time.
Don't forget VM's birthday is today.
VM's birthday is today?
Yes.
Ooh,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday. If Leo the them would have sing, but you we can't
Yeah,
sing.
we're not into that.
We're not join us.
Blessings, love, enjoy your day. Be safe, BM.
Awesome. I wonder what VM up to. VM, what you going to do today? What you doing special to mark your birthday? And tell us quickly. You know how we kind of fast. Need to know, want to know, must know.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Party?
When was your birthday, Dr. Joni?
Back in April.
Oh, really? What is
Yeah,
April?
23rd, like Shakespeare.
Oh, really? Now, out. Well, my birthday is the 10th of April, so
Oh, okay. 2 days after my nieces. So
so you see, I have
yeah,
some.
awesome. Good company.
Tell them that they have great company.
Absolutely.
So as I say, well, what did you do last birthday? Do you remember? Are you there?
Oh, I was working. That's when I made the decision to leave one employer and find somebody else. I was on a hunt. I couldn't take it anymore. I was doing 7 days a week and probably 16, 18 hours a day.
No, that's not good for you. That's not
Exactly.
yet. I don't care how much money you're making. That's not good for you.
That's true. Even though I'm working from home, it takes a toll. It takes a
No,
toll.
Dr. Johnny, when you work from home, I swear it's harder than
It
when you
is.
go
It
out.
is.
It is.
But I've been doing it for about 20 years. So I didn't even really notice the pandemic that much until
Ah,
I had to go out with the mask.
uh-huh.
So yeah.
Oh, so you always been home based. You are just a real trendsetter. You way ahead of your time. Girlfriend, you working at home long before it was a thing.
Exactly.
You have this fusion going on between medicine and computers long before the professor even conjured or could even wrap his head around people tracking you down to hire you before you even was looking for work.
No, people would ask me, how much can I pay to get you to come over here? And I'm going, why?
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Girlfriend, next time you're in Jamaica, you have to hook up.
I know, I know. I'm coming home to Clarendon, right?
Yes. Awesome. Coming home, I'll take you over. I'll show you
I'm
Clarendon.
gonna see the spots.
Yes, we will stop at all the old favorite spots. Wink, wink.
Absolutely.
Um, but no,
But
look.
this was such a pleasure. Oh, I didn't know what to expect. It felt like the first day of school. So, hey, we finally got on and we have a lively audience.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Guys are really super good. Anybody saying anything about birthday? And I have 8 people on YouTube watching. I thank you guys on YouTube for participating, for being there. I know you were watching. Nobody commented beyond 1 or 2 persons. Oh, Sean Chambers says, "Good morning, ladies. Looking beautiful this morning." Thanks, Sean. And imagine I was just going to say I never see you. Oh, thank you so much, Sean, for sharing that. Yay.
And everyone is wishing BM a happy birthday. Paulette Chambers, Juice Browning, Carlene Madden, Sandra Sterling. Happy birthday, BM.
Yay, VM, enjoy your day. Have some fun. Do some me thing, something for yourself that you want to do. Don't make them drag you off to dinner if you don't want to go to no dinner. And if you want to go to dinner, go on to dinner.
Just enjoy.
Just enjoy your day.
Absolutely. So wrapping up.
Yes. Today we looked at the value of unpaid domestic work. We considered the value it would be, and Dr. Joni had an excellent proposal. She figured that with some subsidy from government, we could really consider supporting households and allowing more families to raise better children. And at the end of that, we would see an improvement in social issues. she also figured that we might even see some improvement in or a descent, a decline in criminal activities. Dr. Joni, your closing wrap up.
Well, I always like Michelle saying, be safe. And remember, COVID is still a thing. I
Yes.
love that. So I'm stealing that from Michelle because a lot of us want to get out there and do stuff. But yeah, definitely.
COVID is still a thing though, Dr. Joni?
I think so.
Okay.
I still put my mask on if I'm indoors in a wide open space with lots of people.
Yes.
I still do it.
I still do to myself, but I think that we probably in Jamaica a little bit more cautious. So no people in America are no wild and unruly. And
Not me, my dear.
look like one couldn't wait to take off the mask and throw away. So I'm happy that
it's a mindset. It's propaganda is in there too, but that's for another day.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We can live with that. Dr. Joni, I thank you so much for being here. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Take care. See you again Tuesday night. Dr. Joni, if you feel so inclined, you have the codes.
I will try.
Or if you can't, we look forward to seeing you on another
I'll be in the audience, multitasking.
Well, I'm happy I was able to rip you from all your multi things that you do on a daily basis.
I did not want to miss this. I was so honored.
All right. Guys, take care. Thanks for being here. Keep safe.
Bye, y'all. Be safe.